My question is that what is that fire that you see in yourself? What is that? Because that seems to be the definition of integrity, and that seems to be what you've maintained.
For me, it's a constant reference point it's always your true north. The man is always going to try and shut you down. If you are doing anything
Any
good,
man.
Well, no, the man.
Yeah, right,
No,
but that's a lot of big men.
Well,
I get what you're saying.
Yeah.
I just mean like whether it's corporations, other people, everything.
Exactly. Yeah, precisely.
Right.
And to me, the man is every hate letter I get, which makes me know I'm doing something right.
Right.
Get out of my country. Ah, yes.
Perfect.
The nerve. I've touched it.
Right.
Or when the cops have problems with you, or some talk show host, because I know I'm doing a good thing, because I'm the one who wants your kids to be literate. I'm the one who wants your kids to come to peaceful ways to resolve conflict. I want everyone to be fed. So I know I'm on the right track. When I get that kind of resistance, I know I'm doing the right thing. The older I get, the less self-conscious I get, because I am just less precious about how I look. In that, I think the body should be maintained, so you get good use out of it. Like put oil in the car, be nice to your body. Because you want to, you got to use these joints every day. Yeah. But at this point, I'm only interested in what I can learn, what I can think, and what I can do, rather than how I look, how the chicks are digging me. That really doesn't mean much to me at this point. In that,
did it ever?
Yeah, sure. When you're 20-something, it's me.
Yeah.
And as an older guy, pretty well traveled, seeing what I see, getting the access that I do, and I get quite a bit of access. What's important to me is more of the we. And I'm not trying to impress you and, he's so altruistic.
No, but that was a conscious decision, right?
Well, it was experience. It laps around the track. Well, the conscious decision was to put more stamps in the passport. Like, I got some money. How am I going to use it? I'm not going to buy a fleet of Ferraris. I'm going to go places. I want to be like the National Geographic. I want to go check it out.
But that was for your own curiosity, because it seems to me that you've become sort of a self-styled missionary raconteur. That what you're sharing is your own experience in an earnest way, and as you evolve as a person, which you're talking about right now, these shared experiences you want to become communal experiences with your audiences.
Right, and it's how I justify the crass idea that you're going to sit down in a seat, shut up, and listen to me, and pay me. And it's irretrievable time. Not even Proust can get this time back for you.
Right.
And so it's not the money thing. It's not wanting to have any member of that audience walk out going like, wow, he took my Saturday night. I'm not getting that back. I should gut that guy for taking that Saturday.
Has that ever happened, though?
Well, I do my damnedest to sling the best hash I can.
But you do like 3-hour shows.
Well, sometimes. Yeah. I'm much better if I do less.
Yeah.
I mean, too much of anything is too much. But
how long did it take you to learn that?
Well, you know what I mean? If you keep sidebarring, people go, come on, man, get to the meat of the thing. Stop giving me the...
Yeah.
Anyway, the way I justify myself being on stage in front of you, the audience, is to go far and wide, get those stories, burn lean tissue out there in the world, and come back with something that was really hard to put in the sack and bring back. Something that is trying to bite. And I go pretty far, and it takes quite a bit of time and effort. And it's great. I learn a lot. I'm humbled, constantly by who I meet and what I see. But that's, at this point, what I bring to the stage. And when someone says, why should I listen to you? Why? Because I just came back from northern Uganda and southern Sudan, and I talked to young people who were abducted by the Lord's Resistance Army, who were made to hack people into pieces, and they're only 15 years old. And it took me over an hour of gently prodding them to even get them to say a word to me. And you should hear what I'm going to say about that.
Now, when you go in to do that, because in the sense of this ego thing, and because you're a fairly monolithic guy. I mean, you represent Rollins. When you say Rollins, people know Rollins.
Yeah, but I'm all I've got. I mean,
no, I get that. But like when you go into these things, in order to have the humility to absorb the emotions of those situations that you're putting yourself into. I mean, how do you approach that? What is your real agenda instead of just curiosity, when you say, I've got to get this information, I've got to engage in this, because that's a very tragic story. Like when you went in to talk to these kids, how did you go about it?
It was really tough. I mean, you have to play analyst. We asked them about all kinds of things they were doing. What are you learning in school? And then, okay, after about 45 minutes, literally, we interview these kids for almost 3 hours just to get them to say a sentence. This was like 3 weeks ago.
Say a sentence related to the horror.
Exactly.
Right.
Just to get them, and then slowly we go, okay, so you were abducted. How long was your abduction? What were you made to do? And all of a sudden these kids go from quiet to very, very silent. And then finally one will say, little sentences come out. And we got some information, but by and large, in 2 different interviews, we interviewed a total of 7 children who've been abducted by the Lord's Resistance Army in northern Uganda. And they had to hike into southern Sudan, and they committed atrocities.
Yeah.
It was tough. But I try and get an understanding of the world. It's one of the ways I try and understand my own country, America, is to leave it and see how it manifests itself in other countries, how it washes up on other shores, what globalization really looks like, what Thomas Friedman's wet dream looks like in Cambodia, in Vietnam, and these places. And that's what I attempt to do. And then when I come back to the stage, I can go, look, from 8,000 miles from here, here's what I found out. And I'm not trying to say I know more than you, I'm better, but it's how I justify you sitting down for $20 and.
Well, it's like gonzo reporting and storytelling that you're sort of bringing the pain. Now, but when you're in a moment like that, because I interview a lot of people in here, and granted, they're not, none of them are have committed atrocities either voluntarily or not. What does it inform you about your own life? I mean, like when you're talking to 15-year-old kids who were forced to kill people. I mean, do you find yourself crying or feeling emotion or feeling, lucky or?
Oh, I feel lucky. But for me, the older I get, with the luck comes responsibility. And just being an American, you're pretty lucky because you escape a lot of the beatings that a lot of the world's population goes through. Just like getting through a day in parts of Africa or parts of Southeast Asia, man, it's a trial. Just, if you're not a dentist or a doctor or what have you, if you're just working, man, Hanoi is just, by the end of the day, you're just used up.
Yeah.
And I've been to Africa 11 times now, and I've seen, a little bit of it. And boy, some lifestyles there, we got nothing to complain about. And so even as far as geographically, we're very lucky in that there's not a lot of drought here in America. There's cold, but you're not going to freeze to death unless, you're drunk and you fall asleep on the sidewalk.
Right.
And it's kind of hard to starve to death in America. Someone will eventually pick you up and feed you.
Yeah.
Yeah, we hope. But in other parts of the world, life is way more desperate and kind of on the edge and very, very uncertain. And so I go into these environments and just open ears, open mind, open eyes, just trying to get it. And I try and erase my Western filter because you judge stuff. Well, that guy's pretty broke. Ask him. How does he know if he's broke? In that he's too busy getting to the next food bowl. He doesn't have a bank account. You can't talk to him about the concept of life insurance.
But what about in terms of open heart? I mean, sometimes when I've watched you perform, that you're very generous, you're very earnest, and you're a great storyteller, and you've had a lot of experiences. But does this stuff ever crush your spirit? I mean, do you ever get overwhelmed?
Yeah, sure.
Where you're sitting alone. What do you do when you sit by yourself? What happens?
Sometimes it catches up to you.
Yeah.
And it runs over you. That's why I don't like to stop moving too much. December is hard for me because usually I'm done with the tour or whatever. This year I arrived back in Los Angeles from about 13 months of travel and tour. And it's a hard month because I sit still. I kind of cool. I have to catch my breath, otherwise I won't be any good, for the next year. And things catch up, and you go through your photos, you go through your journal entries, and the entirety of what you just dealt, endured and saw kind of catches up with you.
Like PTSD.
Yeah, and it can bite back. Nietzsche, who, you should stop reading by the time you're 18. But, he had that thing that I never understood until I really understood it, where he said, he who looks into the abyss must know that the abyss also looks into him. I didn't get that. I go, what does that mean? I read it when I was 16 or 17. Now I get it. When you look into this stuff, it's going to check you out too. And it's going to look very hard into you. And so what it makes me want to do more and more is be part of a proactive movement or working with other people who are trying to make things better. And that's the way to go, okay, that situation sucks, so let's go.
So you don't feel so you don't stay in the despair.
Not for too long, and just make it, well, if you're going to do it, you can make it a catalyst to get you up and running into something else.
Well, I'm sorry. I think that's like the thing that makes, me and you different. I think it's the way people see you too, that the application of will and discipline in your life, you exude it.